Hello and welcome to Shelf Centered. We're doing a tag again. I haven't done a tag in ages. I am slacking on all my tags, so I apologize to anyone I haven't gotten to one of their tags. It's not for lack of desire to do the tags. Some of them are actually, I'm like, I don't have books to fit into some of these spots, and so I've just been racking my brain, and then here we are months later and I still don't have them done and out. But anyway, because I have no attention span, we're going with the most recent tag. I was tagged by Bookish Chaz to do the last 10 books tag. So this is a good one. I really like this one. So we'll just jump right into it. All right, the last book that you didn't finish. It's been a while. I try to do whatever I can to be able to finish a book, and that's mostly, you may have heard my whole rant about DNFing books. I think it's the greatest thing you can do, but my goal ahead of reading the book is to pretty much be ready or to facilitate myself having the greatest likelihood of liking it. Is that the most lawyerly way to put that? So I am aiming for books that I want to enjoy and that I will enjoy, and so that means my likelihood of finishing books is much higher. I'm sorry to keep going on this, but my last one was Let the Right One In by, was it John Advocate Lindquist? He's like Swedish or Norwegian, and I know I shouldn't get those two mixed up. They hate each other, I think, according to PewDiePie. Let the Right One In. I got through like one really uncomfortable scene, and it's supposed to be creepy. I reread my review and it was like, it's supposed to be creepy because it's like a horror, but it was definitely like creepy in that like creepy uncle like looking at you funny way. Anyway, it was just, I took one scene, tried to keep going, couldn't do it. So it's been a while. This was, I think, like 4 or 5 years ago. Anyway, and this is actually my second attempt at it because I have a good friend that really liked it, and I was really trying, but it was too creepy. Anyway, let me know if it gets better or whatever, if I should really read it, but that was a rough one. All right, the last book you reread. This was an easy one, and because I've been doing my Malazan Book of the Fallen reread, the most recent one that I reread was The Bone Hunters. So The Bone Hunters, that's an easy one. I actually have right here. So that was an easy one. Did that sucker last year. Need to get back to that reread because I'm on Reaper's Gale and just need to pick it up. All right, the last book you bought, I actually don't have here. I have it at the office, of course, but that would be The Humans by Matt Haig. Just hear too many good things. I think it was books with Brittany it was her first recommendation that got me kind of interested in it, and now I own it based on definitely more good recommendations. Let's see. The last book you said you read but didn't. I tend to be the annoying guy that's like, oh, did you read the book? And everyone's like, no, because I'm not a stupid dork like you. But I'm not, I've never seen I've heard this is a thing that people say they've read books, but I tend to not. I'll tend to be like, yeah, I didn't read it. I mean, I have enough in my, that I've read that I'm pretty confident in myself that I've read enough to be like, yeah, I read books, I'm good, I don't need to prove anything. But I don't know, is it really a thing? Anyway, the last book you wrote in the margins of, I'm very delicate with my books. I was at gymnastics last night with my kids, and the sweet little girl she came up and was like, what are you reading? And I had my Words of Radiance, and so I'm showing her the picture at the front with Shalon, and like, oh, look, cool picture, right? And so immediately she like bends a page, and I'm like, put this away. I'm willing to entertain cute kids, but at the same time, not at the expense of my book. So that's where I'm at. I don't like breaking the spine. I don't like bending pages. All that is to say, I think the last book that I really wrote in the margins of would be my contracts book in law school, maybe. And it is covered in notes because that was crazy story. Contracts professor, this is first year. I probably wrote it in later books too, I'm sure. I did plenty of highlighting. But contracts professor actually made us write in the margins and highlight. because she wanted us to get used to at least doing one way of good note-taking and studying, and would even occasionally treat us like the babies that we were as 1Ls and make us leave our books in our spots so she could check through to make sure we were marking them appropriately. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'll just show a picture. Here. Last book you have signed, I have a copy right here, would be Dante's, the sequel to The Dark Trials. So got it right there, boom. Thank you, T. James Kelly. Great book and great series. So definitely check that one out. Last book you lost, I don't have here, and I need to replace it. It is Howl's Moving Castle. I was really trying to get my kids to read it, and maybe a little too hard. But then, I mean, they see me carrying a book all around the house, and so I think they were like bringing that one around, and then it got taken on some vacation or whatever, and I'm sure it's in some hotel room, or at least was, or family member's house. So it is gone, though. I cannot find it. I've been looking because I keep trying to be like, let's read it. Come on. You guys have a friend named Sophie. Come on, that's perfect. Anyway, it's not working, and I need to find it because it's a great one. All right, last book you had to replace, other than Howl's Moving Castle, of course, but I had to replace The Awarded Man, Peter V. Brett. I don't know what happened to my other copy, but now I'm a completionist on my favorite series, and that's one I had to have. Need to be able to reread that at a moment's notice, right? Because I totally do that all the time. I might have to go with this one. So, I was gonna say the Bone Hunters again, but I did already use it. I don't like using it. I did kind of make an argument for the Bone Hunters being the best of the Malazans, so I guess you could technically say that was an argument. But in the comments for this, and I think it was actually deleted because I was looking to follow if there was any follow-up, but I had someone in the comments for my review on The Way of Kings kind of go, because my review was about why you shouldn't read The Way of Kings because I'm so clever, and then it turned into a rug pull moment, and then I actually was telling you why you should. I'm hilarious, I know. Anyway, someone wrote in there like, well, I thought you were going to talk about how he's homophobic and all these things, and I'm like, all right, if that's what you think, and we can have this discussion in the comments, but as far as I know, he's changed his mind. He's completely kind of changed his thinking, and I'm like, so if you think that he's homophobic, you're thinking of a past, and your information's not quite up to date. And on top of it, and I'm actually going into the argument. And frankly, I mean, if we're all going to be judged on our past opinions of things, I mean, that's a pretty high standard. I don't want to be judged against that. I had some bad opinions, I'll admit it right here. And I've changed a lot of them. So over the years, I feel like that's how you grow as a person. And I don't know, do you just immediately know everything? I mean, isn't that an Oscar Wilde, at least attributed quote? I'm not young enough to know everything. I feel like I've had to learn throughout the years on by challenging my ideas and having some of them, be wrong over the time. Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. Last book you couldn't get a hold of. This one, I struggled so hard. I think I was sent 2 different copies. One was a Richard Pryor, autobiography or biography at least. And I was like, I don't hate that. It's Richard Pryor. He's hilarious and awesome. But it was not Vigilance that I was trying to get. And then I got another one. I forget what I got the second time. But finally, luckily people were nice to refund and all that. But this really beat up copy I finally tracked down, and I'll take it because it's something and I get to read it. But Vigilance by Robert Jackson Bennett. Robert Jackson Bennett, one of my favorite authors. This one's a hard one to get a hold of. I have a hard time tagging people. I don't even know who to tag. I always leave everyone out, so I'm just going to include everyone as a tag, which, it's everyone and no one, I guess. But everyone's tagged. You consider yourself tagged with this video. I want to hear this. It's a fun list to do. So thank you, Bookish Chaz, for the opportunity to do a fun video. And I will catch you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help the channel, and obviously only if this is something that you enjoy. Appreciate it. Bye.